First you draw a circle, then you dot the eyes, add a great big smile, and presto, it's Kirby! Hello, I'm Ashley, and welcome to my happy place, where I play games that bring me a little bit of comfort in an uncomfortable world. When I think of video game mascots and joy and happiness and just everything that's good in the world, I can't do any better than Kirby. He's round, he's pink, he's adorable, he loves his friends, he loves food, he loves to take naps, but when the going gets tough, he gets out there and he gets stuff done. Right now we're looking at the attract mode for the game, which is actually an important addition, because in this game, Kirby gained a few more abilities. In his original debut, he couldn't copy enemies, so to introduce players to that mechanic, it was kind of needed to, show them what it's all about here. Basically, he's like a little Mega Man, and that's what drew me to this game. I had skipped out on Kirby's Game Boy adventure, even though I really loved my Game Boy, but when I saw commercials showing him do all of these cool things, I thought, wow, he's just like Mega Man, but he's doing the Mega Man thing multiple times throughout a level. And just how varied the abilities are throughout the game. There's 25 copy abilities total. It was just looked super fun, and I just had to play it. Just look at all of this. And of course, there's my favorite, probably everybody's favorite, is the sword. Unlike Kirby Superstar, though, the actual moves you can perform with each ability is kind of limited. This was the very first game they had done it on, but just the sheer amount of what you can do and everything is just wonderful. It's just a pure joy. So there's this little superstar when he sucks in two things at the same time, and you can only get the big guys once you knock them over. Yeah, look at that. Just such adorable mayhem. So we're going to play through the entirety of Kirby's Adventure. We're going to go for a 100% complete file. I'm also going to, well, first I'm going to read this. One day, the peaceful life of Dreamland was shattered by a mysterious crisis. The inhabitants didn't dream. On the edge of Dreamland, dreams and hope once gushed forth from the Dream Spring, fueled by the Star Rod. Investigating the Dream Spring, Kirby found naughty King Dedede swimming in its magical waters. Look at him with his little floaty. Dedede had broken the Star Rod and given the pieces to his friends, who are now in hiding in Dreamland. To bring back the lost dreams, Kirby sought the Star Rod, and he brought with him his prized possession, a single Maxim tomato. So, like I said, we're going to go through this game in its entirety. We're going to play every minigame, we're going to get every power, and by the time we're done, we should see 100% on our little save file here, and you should see 25 happy little Kirbys on the sides. Here we go. Every world starts off with a cool little vignette and some music to get you pumping. Oh, now what? Yeah, that's what. So this was a late game in the NES's lifespan, which explains why it looks so gorgeous. Oh, so many— uh-oh, there went our first ability. Let's go get that back. Just so many colors. It almost, like you look at the bottom part, you look at the menu, and you see the uniformity of the color there, and that's a concession that you kind of have to make for, to get everything else looking so wonderful. Kind of like how Mario 3 limited its total screen real estate to get the graphics it got. So, what does beam do exactly? Kirby fires a beam like that used by some enemies, called Waddle Dees. This is an easy weapon to use. And look at Kirby! He can't draw a circle because he's just a little baby. Let's keep going. Oh no! Okay, so, yeah, well, I've played this game through several times, although I haven't done it any time recently. No, that was our next copy ability. Let's go get it. So, you'll see me running a lot. That's just double tapping, really simple. Occasionally you might see me sliding. Oh no, I totally missed Spark. Like I said, I've usually run through this game so fast, so let's try out Spark a little. Yeah, tell us about Spark. Kirby can create firework-like sparks from his body. This is a great defense. It sure is. I have an electric personality because I'm Kirby and I'm happy all the time. Who is it down here we had? Fire. That's pretty self-explanatory, but give me the deets. Kirby can breathe fire. Enemies beware, you're gonna get burned. Alright. So doors are kind of a mainstay, and I love that little tinkling sound. That's one of the all-time great video game sounds. It's just that little... It's right up there with, I don't know, let's say Mega Man landing on a platform or bullets hitting enemies in Contra. It just does something, it triggers something in the brain that just says, yes, you are happy. This is joy. Jump over you and haha. Get over here. There we go. So fire's not quite my favorite ability. Like a lot of people, sword's my favorite, but probably not gonna, I don't think we see sword for a little bit yet. So for now, we're just gonna kind of... There's Kirby's favorite food, the Maxim tomato. I like to imagine that Maxim tomatoes, like imagine a regular cherry tomato, like the juiciest, most succulent cherry tomato you can think of. Imagine that. Imagine how one of those bursts in your mouth, and now imagine a tomato that's a regular sized tomato, and every single bite just has that gushing tomato juice. Just num 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 num. That's what I like to believe the Maxim tomato. It's just maximum juice every single bite. So this is the exit of the level. Once we go in, we're gonna play a fun little mini game for 1-ups. Try to hit the A button as close as you can to the bottom. And even if you don't get all the way up, you still get a cute dance. So now we're gonna clear out. We see our first mini game. This is the crane game. Get some little cute Kirby plushes. Crane Fever. Use the buttons to move the crane and try to get a Kirby. A big one's hard to get, but worth it. I remember when I used to play this game in the past, I think I always went for the big ones. I believe you can get like at least, you know, like 2 or 3 1-ups in this. Yeah, look at that big Kirby. He's so adorable. He's all mine. I gotta have him. He's too squeezably soft. I might be a little crooked here though. Oh. Oh, no! Oh. That's okay. We got it. One more time. Oh no, I didn't get it. That's alright though. Look at all the other cute little guys in here. There's Waddle Dee's in there. There's Naughty, the little guy with the sleep hat. We'll be seeing him a lot later in the game. That's okay though. I still got to see a cute little stuffed Kirby. So on to level 2. So the first world is really, really simple, of course, because it's the first world. It's introducing you to things, you know, like Gordo, who cannot be eaten. That is the constant in every single Kirby game. You really can't do anything to Gordo. So let's go ahead and... This is a little bit easier to work, because I can I can stay on the move. Oop, new ability, though. Let's eat you, Mr. Sir Kibble. The Cutter. Looks kind of like a special item in a Castlevania game, huh? What's it all about? Kirby can throw a series of cutters that return like boomerangs, so exactly what I said. Nice little projectile weapon. It's one of the first projectile attacks you can get, but it's got a short range unless you turn around and jump. Out of the way, Bronto Burt. I know most of the names of the enemies in the Kirby series, so that's Poppy Brothers, Poppy Bros Senior, or maybe that's Junior. I know most of the names of the Kirby enemies, but not a lot. It's like, as much as I love Kirby, I'm probably not the biggest Kirby fan in the world. A lot of deep lore in these games that I'm not quite privy to. Alright, so what do you have for me? Fun time. Oh, no! That was totally the wrong button. What's this all about, though? This is why I didn't want to lose this. Crash. This power will defeat all enemies on the screen, but you can only use it once. It's kind of like Daffy Duck's trick at the end of, there's like 2 cartoons where he does this death-defying trick where he drinks liquid nitrogen and does all sorts of crazy stuff and then explodes. And Bugs Bunny's like, that's an amazing trick. And he's like, yeah, but I can only do it once. Yeah. Alright. Hey, there's a little baby Poppy brother. Away. Little guy, we can use a spark right here. There we go. Find our good old friend, the Maxim tomato. Up we go. So like I said, like you'll notice that there's, you know, kind of, as colorful as the game is, you will notice that in spots there's, kind of the same colors being used for your, the tile sets of your actual level architecture, and that's kind of the trade-off that you get to have everything else kind of be so adorable and vibrant. So here's something really cool here. If I had found this in the past, I had completely forgotten that I ever did. We'll deal with you later, Sword Knight. So here's a nice little secret here. You know, not every door in this game looks like a door. And now we're outside somewhere else and get a nice little one up. You'll find those kind of scattered around, and sometimes you won't even, like, in this case, like, you know, sure, it looks like you kind of went on the other side of this background, but there are some cases where, like, say, you'll just see a regular old background element that doesn't look like something you would actually walk through, and it might have a secret door, so all sorts of fun stuff. Alright, here's the ticket. Sword. You cannot get much cooler than this. Look at him. He's a little whirling dervish. It's amazing. Use the sword to defeat enemies. If you attack in midair, Kirby will spin and slash. Yeah. Now we're going. Now we're getting places. So you'll notice that when Kirby has an ability, he takes on a different hue. Kind of this more yellowish, orangish kind of thing. And that's just to let you know that he has an ability, because he won't always have a little prop. This was before he got to have the hats that he would wear in Superstar. Oh! Now, if I recall correctly, people that speedrun this game, they just use Fireball. But me, I'm all about this. And in my best moments, going with a little somersault. No! That was not my best moment. There'll be plenty more where that came from. Out of the way, Kaboo! I think that's not good for what's coming up next. So yeah, one of the wonderful things about Kirby, well, one of many wonderful things about Kirby, is that he's a character, his game series, it can be enjoyed by players of all ages. It's a platformer where you have the ability to fly at any time. Now, granted, you go through the game more slowly while you fly, but if you have a little one that, you know, hasn't been playing games for 25 plus years, it's a nice little thing to help them out. And, you know, any enemy that you run into, it immediately kind of... Oh, yeah. There's a lot of abilities that don't work in the water. Do we actually... Okay. There's plenty of abilities that don't work in water, and so when you're underwater, instead Kirby just gets a little water jet. Oh. So yeah, for advanced players, you know, you've got your running around Fireball or somersaulting with a sword, dashing at any opportunity that you can get. But then for your less experienced players, you know, you have the slide, you have the ability to, you know, actually we need to get a Fireball guy because we're getting every ability. You have the ability to slide if you have nothing else left on you. If you fall from a great distance, you will harm enemies that you fall on. So, you know, it's just, again, all ages, all skill levels are welcome in Kirby. Show off a new ability. Fireball. So in later Kirby games, a lot of the abilities of certain elements are combined into singular abilities. But this was the very first one, so we get to see them separated out. So we had Fireball before, now we have Fire before, now we have Fireball. Kirby can turn into a flying fireball, jump and attack in a flash of fire. So, I'm not a big fan of this ability. I usually have a lot of problems judging the distance on it. Not to mention there's a little bit of lag on it, because it takes Kirby a while to slow down. He puts up a lot of momentum when he fires forward like that. But this is fine. It slows the game down a lot, but it's fine. As long as you get plenty of leeway with this, because the range of your spark is so big. Out of my way. I got a tomato to cook. And I think we're coming near the end of this world now. I can't remember if there's one more level or not. Okay, yeah, we do have one more level and then we get to the boss. But first, let's look at a new feature. The museum. Here is a colorful display of enemies with special abilities. Eat the one you want. So yeah, like I was saying, all skill levels. So if you have players that have difficulty with, you know, even just getting abilities in the middle of levels, and they want to kind of start the level with a cool boost, then you could just go into these museums. And each museum, there's a museum in every single world, and they all feature different enemies that you can just consume at your leisure. Hey there, Sword Knight, what you doing? That's what I thought. Actually, we want that, so let's try that again. I kind of forgot I had Spark for a moment. There we go. Alright. Onward. I notice now that Kirby has got some really cool music. I should have let him act. Okay, yeah, next one of these guys I'll let him do a little bit more than that. Freeze. So you might notice this is kind of like Spark, but it's a different element. There's a lot of that in this game, of abilities that kind of have direct analogs, but with different base elements. So what do we do with Freeze? Kirby can create a shield to freeze enemies. He can then knock away the frozen blocks. Now I remember this part pretty clearly, because from here on out, we'll see certain abilities, once they're introduced for the first time, you'll be put into areas where you can kind of try them out. So here, we have Freeze to turn stuff into ice, and there's enemies directly in front of us to kick the ice into. And so it's really cool. It's just kind of, again, it gives you a chance to try out something new, see whether or not you like it, and just have fun with it. Closer, Cappy. There you go. Out of the way. Ooh, another new ability. Needle. Oh, that's so adorable. Oh, not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do this. Needle. Lots of needles, just like a porcupine's, come out of Kirby. It's a great defense. There's quite a few abilities like that in this game, and it kind of makes me glad that in later installments, Kirby can do way more with his copy abilities. Because there is, you know, functionally speaking, there is a lot of overlap in this game. Especially since, in this game, enemies, for the most part, will always just take one hit of anything to be defeated. Whereas in Superstar, and that's actually something that throws me off every time I play Superstar, enemies kind of have hit points. Oh, time to have some fun. Super tasty. Hyper! There's no description, just run! We are now invulnerable because we're on a sugar rush. Yeah, no time for one-ups. We just have to go all the way. Oh! So if you get close enough to a level in the bonus game, Kirby will grab out and he'll get it. So, again, all ages are welcome. But now it's time to face the boss of this world, of Vegetable Valley. Who could it possibly be? Who could possibly be the first boss of a Kirby game? I don't know. Look at this background. That background gives me an idea. I need to make a lumberjack. Of course I'm playing around. Anybody who has any passing familiarity with Kirby knows that the first boss of every single Kirby game, well, most Kirby games, I'm sure there's some where he's not, is Wispy Woods. A tree who shoots air and drops fruit, which, in plant terms, are basically his babies. Wispy Woods is kind of a running joke in the Kirby universe. He's a tree. He's rooted to the ground. He can't do anything to you. You could just go around. Kirby, go around. But in the Kirby anime, Wispy Woods is actually a lot more threatening because he is a literal wood. He is a spirit of the woods. Those little fruits summon up basically doppelgangers. He can transfer himself from tree to tree. And it's kind of unclear whether or not he has brethren or if that's all him. But yeah, he's a lot more threatening in other media. So we've beaten Wispy Woods, we've gotten our first piece of the Star Rod, and now we get a show. So cute. Well, this is the next level, the next little vignette, and this is a good stopping place for now. When we come back next time to my happy place, we're going to check out Ice Cream Island and all of the sweet fun therein. See you soon.
はやってくる